These are angles between 0 and 90.
These are angles what?
Between 0 and 90.
These are angles between 0 degrees and 90 what? And 90
Degrees.
and 90 degrees. Those are the acute angles. Are we together? Those are the acute angles. So all those angles between 0. So angles between 0 less than or equal to theta, less than or equal to 90 degrees. So these are what we call the acute angles. So in between 0 and 90 degrees. Okay. So you can give me there very many examples. We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, and 90 itself.
Yes.
So all those angles, acute angles. Now you should know that also acute angles, they add up to 90 degrees. So acute angles add up to 90 what? 90 degrees.
Wait.
Degrees. So those are the acute angles. All right.
Degrees.
Very good. So when you use your protractor, they are saying a protractor. Okay, we shall look at the use of the protractor there. Let us go to Roman number 2. Someone, hey, who's this one with funny noise? Mutumba, you are the one. So the other one, we have angles between 90, from 90 to 80 degrees. What name is given to those angles? From 90 to 80 degrees. What name is given to those angles? What name is given to those angles between 90 to 80 degrees? They are called read for me that word.
Obtuse.
Obtuse angles.
Now you have remembered, eh?
Yes.
People, it's quite long when you left primary, isn't it? It's quite long. So obtuse angles, and these are angles. These are angles between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. So these angles, they add up to 180 degrees. Those angles add up to 100 and what? And 80 degrees. Okay. Those are what we call the obtuse angles. So let us look at the other angles. Roman number 3. Okay, now the other angles are not on this kind of protractor, but I remember when we were studying bearing, you looked at angles beyond 180, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So which name is given to angles between 180 and 270? Which name is given to those angles? Do you know what the angles that we call reflex?
Yes.
Angles?
Yes.
Do you remember?
Reflex angles.
What are reflex angles? What are reflex angles? If you do remember, what are reflex angles? Pav, you tell us, what are reflex angles? Pav, what are reflex angles? Yes, what are reflex angles? Pav, you don't remember, huh? Pav is off. Okay. Austin, what are reflex angles?
Yes.
What are reflex
I
angles?
don't recall. I'm not recalling very well.
These are angles between 180 degrees and 470 degrees. So angles between 180 degrees and 270 degrees. Those are what we call
Degrees.
the reflex angles. The reflex angles. Okay. Then the other one is what we call the center angle. We have what we call the center angle. Center angles. So, center angles, these are angles that add up. These are angles that add up to 360 degrees. So at the center, we have, if you have the center here like this, let me draw for you. You said that a square is used for drawing lines, isn't it? Let me draw for one for you here like this. So you can have different angles here. So you can have, if you start measuring from this point, moving like this, so the angles which are along from there up to that point, that is, this angle here is what we call a center angle, and that center angle is always 360 degrees. So if this is theta,
Degrees.
and our theta is 360 what? 360
Degrees.
as up to 360 degrees. Okay, now we are going to look at how these angles are measured. So these angles are measured using which tool? Angles are measured using a protractor. Angles are measured using a protractor. Okay, a protractor here. Measured using a protractor. It's called protractor. Protractor. Okay, it's called a pro what?
Protractor.
A protractor. Okay. And I know you have a protractor. This is what we call protractor. So we are going to be able to identify different angles. We should be able to identify different angles. So we are going to look at those different angles. The first one that you gave me is what we call the right angle. Do you remember the right angle? So let us look at different angles. Let's look at different angles. So we shall start with Roman number 1, 90 degrees. 90 degrees. And 90 degrees is what we call the right what? The right angle. So how do we draw the right angle? So if this is your line, we are going to draw, if this is your line, like this, we are going to draw, this is your line. Okay. So I've drawn a line there, and I want to draw 90 degrees, 90 degrees. So I first draw a line, then I put a mark here, like that. Put a mark there. And then the next thing, if I want to draw it, I'll just put a protractor here. And the protractor should be at this mark, the center. That's where the protractor should be. Members, didn't you do this in P7? Then you put a mark here and indicate that this is 90 degrees. So afterwards, you get your ruler and join this to the center. And you draw from that mark to this point, and you draw a straight line like that. So I will not join because my mark goes beyond this. Okay, I can draw it there like that. So it means that the angle which is here is 90 what? That angle is 90 degrees. Are we together, members?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's how you can draw 90 degrees using a protractor. Okay. And now this is what we call the acute angle. So all the angles which are here, all the angles which will be here, all those angles are between 90 and 0 degrees, because here it is 0 degrees, are between 90 and 0 degrees. So all those angles are what we call the acute angles, or the angles which will be here. All the angles which are found here from 0 up to 90, they are what we call the acute angles. Those angles. But this angle here is 90
Degrees.
Okay.
The viewer becomes small.
So how what's the username? So members, can we construct the angle of 80 degrees, 180 degrees, 180?
Daddy added yesterday.
180 degrees. How would you identify 180 degrees? So if this is a straight line, first put a mark there, and if you draw a straight line, so if I draw a straight line from this point to this point, then 180 degrees starts from 0. So if I put my protractor here like this, are we together? So it is up to you. 0 can start from this side, or 0 can start from this side. Are we together? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start my 0 from this side. Now, if this is 0, 10, this is 0 here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 160, 170, 180. So 180 is here. 170, 180 is here. So if a straight line is drawn like that, it means that the angle from this point to that point is 100 and what? 80? 180 degrees. So angles on a straight line. Now, do you remember that? Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes.
We can say not angles on a straight what?
Line.
Straight line add up to
180 degrees.
180. So that's how you can identify 180 degrees like that. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, so now in this you have an exercise here. I don't know how many minutes are remaining, but you have this exercise here. They are saying that for each of the following angles, first estimate
40 minutes remaining.
Okay. In each of the following angles, first estimate the angles and then measure the angles and see how good your estimate was. So members, this is what we are going to do. Are we together in the exercise that you have? Are we together? So in that exercise that you have, number 1, I want you to draw part A. Draw for me part A the way it is. Even me, I'm drawing. Draw part A the way it is. like that. And now here we are going to write our estimated value. And here we are going to write the correct value. So the estimated value is what you are going to just estimate. Don't measure members. For estimated value, don't measure. What do you think this angle is?
90.
It is 90. Does everyone agree it is 90?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we write 90 degrees. Okay, that is our estimated value. And now the correct value, you get a protractor, and you may
Measure.
So you measure. Is it 90? So it is 90, isn't it? So you write 90 degrees like that. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes.
So now, I'm going to do for you part C. No, I'm going to do for you part D. Are we together? Part D. Then you are going to do that. You do the rest. Then also number 2, I want you to draw for me these angles: 20, 42, 80, 105. Yeah, are we together?
Yes.
Using a protractor.
Protractor.
Using a protractor, you draw for me those angles. The number 3, they are saying that immaculate finds out the favorite spots. Finds out the favorite spots of her members in class. She works out the angles in the list shown below in a pie chart. Do you know how to draw a pie chart?
Yes.
Yes.
So you do for me number 1, number 2, and number 3. Are we together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. When the lesson goes off, I'm going to give you 10 minutes. You have 8 minutes now. So do that exercise. And then when we meet again, we shall look at this exercise, which is here. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes. So do that work. Do that work from number 1. Can you see very well? Let me maximize this.
Yeah. Yes.
Are you seeing clearly, or I should increase?
Increase a bit. Increase a bit.
Don't you have the book?
The book, let me see. I have the book.
If you have the book, please find for me angles D by estimating, like how we have done here, like this. You write the estimated value, and also you write the corrective value. That's for number 1.
Value.
Then
Yes.
number 2, where's this thing going?
Oh, hi.
The number 2,
Hi.
you draw for me these angles. Number 3, you construct a pie chart.
Pie chart.
Do you all have the book?
No, not all of us, but me myself, I have it.
Who doesn't have? Phyllis, do you have?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Sean, do you have?
No.
Stuart, do you have?
I'm just getting it right now.
Okay, you get the book and do it. So those ones who don't have, please, can you copy? Can you copy very fast? Copy very fast, members. Copy number 1.
Everyone mu kitabo by'endiikopa.
Mutumba Austin. Mutumba is making news. Have you finished copying number 1?
No. That's right.
Do you know how to measure this angle D?
Yes.
Okay. Finished number 1?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now we go to number 2 and number 3. That's number 2 and number 3. Also copy these questions which are here. So we shall join after 10 minutes. Are we together?
Okay.
So we are going to join at, let me see.
11.
We are going to join at
25.
11:22. 11:22. Are we together?
Okay.
Okay, at 11:22. Elizabeth.
Yes, teacher.
Elizabeth, today you are off
Yes.
and on. What's the problem?
Teacher, I also don't know the problem.
Network. You have network issues. Elizabeth, have you heard the exercise I've told you?
No, teacher.